Hello everybody. Today we're going to talk about installing another new suspension component from Granatelli Motorsports for our 2015 Mustang chassis, also known as an S550. Today we're going to install our billet aluminum integral links. And what the integral link does is it ties into the upper camber link and the lower H-arm. But what's so important about it is it kind of supports the rear spindle, which Ford calls the aluminum knuckle, but I call it a rear spindle. So follow along as we remove the stock integral link and we install our new billet aluminum pieces. So what we're going to do is, this is the factory integral link right here, and as you can see, it's a stamped steel part. It's held in by a 15 millimeter bolt on top and an 18 millimeter bolt on bottom. This, as you see, what they call aluminum knuckle, I call it really the spindle, and then this component here is the H-arm. When I take it out, it'll be clear why it's so important. Right now you'll see, because I'm not strong enough obviously to move this thing around, but you'll see the thing seems to be pretty stable, but you'll watch when I pull this out what happens. So first I'm going to use the 15 millimeter. Now I'm using sockets, but I mean, you know, a simple 15 millimeter wrench is probably the best way just to loosen it. You can see I pre-loosened this one, but I mean it's pretty simple. So you just put an 15 here and then an 18 down here, and you loosen these up. Once they're loose, I'm using air because I'm cheating and it's for the video. The back side of the upper has this little clip that holds it on there. It's a nut with a clip, so it anti-rotation. So that one's pretty simple. And the bottom one, it's tapped into the H-arm, so with nothing on the back side. So pull the bottom one out, pull the top piece out. All right, so what we're looking at here is a stamped steel part, and you can see on the back side that it's just basically stamped steel, meaning that it's a flat piece of steel that they stamped to put this curve in it. And that curvature is what Ford is relying on to give you all its strength. Now, it's like I said, it's fine for street driving, and obviously these natural rubber bushings like this act as isolators, and it keeps it pretty quiet. But for performance driving, it's not good. So put this out of the way. So you'll see now that thing's out, you can actually see the thing dipping around here. When you're going down the road, this spindle actually moves up and down. So it's important that the H-arm and the knuckle, or again I call the spindle, are perfectly in concert with each other. If you hit a bump, this thing wants to move up and down, right? So in terms of road racing, that's a very important thing. But for drag racing, it's the same way. The upper arm here wants to twist. And when it twists, that's what kind of causes wheel hops. So this arm here is also called, like I said, the upper camber link. It's a pretty robust piece, so I don't think there's any reason to change that one. But again, let's move along here and we'll figure this out. With the Granatelli component, you'll see it's a much stronger billet, 6061. We mimic the stock taper, so that stock taper there is going to fit back in here, and that's essentially what indexes it on the spindle, and it keeps it aligned. So when you install our part, you don't need to realign the car. And again, it's pretty simple. These gold washers, well, they just go on each side. You'll notice here that the bushing sticks out a little bit on each side, and that's essentially so that it indexes onto these washers. So now those are going to go back, those go in the bottom. Obviously taper goes to the knuckle, and it's a little harder to get this in, so you're going to twist it in there, and you kind of got to knock it into place at the same time. And the new pieces, these factory H-arms and the lowers are a little bit tight because when they hit them from the factory with an impact gun, they kind of squish a little bit. So it takes a little bit of work here just to push this into place, but you just got to work it in. The top one's in, so we're good on that. Bottom one, I'm going to have to use a persuasion tool. So you can't see it because of this angle, but you can put a screwdriver in there and just index the hole like this and pull it into place. So what I'm doing is I'm using a screwdriver to go through this hole as a pilot hole into our hole, and then that'll line up the bottom bolt. So I'm close, I'm pretty close now. All right, so what we're doing is I'm just using this screwdriver to line up my holes, and I think I'm pretty close right now. So now we'll go back in there, and we'll get our bottom bolt, and you can see it's pretty good. So now I'll use my air to tighten it back up. Okay, so we've tightened our upper and our lower. Now we're just going to put a wrench on it. We're just going to make sure we're tight. I'm not a big fan of impact. And you can see, as we tighten this bolt, you can actually see the H-arm sucking itself in, the casting itself. I can see it. I don't know if the camera will pick it up. And then our 15 up here. My wrench is sliding. What did I do? Oh, I grabbed a 16. Trust me, guys, it's a 15. I accidentally grabbed a 16 millimeter. Okay. So you're going to repeat that on the opposite side, and you're good to go. So thanks a lot for following along, and hope you enjoy your new integral links. This is a side note video. Sometimes if the bottom of the H is too tight, you can put a crescent wrench on here and you can bend this thing out just a little bit to act as a persuasion tool. And what that does is that just makes it easier to install this piece. So you want this piece to fit in there, and the factory one, what happens is when the bolt goes in there, when the factory bolt goes in there, it torques it down. It actually takes this piece and it moves it in like a 0.5 millimeter, which is just enough to make this one pretty tight when you're trying to install it.